Ryan, we're at a bit of an impasse right now.
Hold the presses, hold the phone.
What?
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're here. At least, I know I'm here. But
are you?
Is Kyle? I mean,
Are
Kyle's
any of
there.
us really here?
Kyle is here, but we
What
gotta
is
hold
here?
the presses because as much as Kyle's going through an existential crisis, we all know this existential crisis bit is just a cover for the fact that he has cheated. You guys don't know this, but Kyle is just game genied in the hacks, so now he'll never lose. So
yep, that's
man.
me. Game Genie to
no,
PS4.
Kyle did some stuff off screen, people.
I
That's
changed a
all I'm
little
saying.
bit of equipment. It wasn't
Off-screen
that
for both
big
the
of a
audience
thing.
and me, so we're only going on good faith here that he did what he said.
I mean,
he
I still
did.
have the
We
recording
don't know
for
what
that,
he really
Ryan.
did. He could have done anything, is what I'm saying.
I'm showing you guys literally everything that I did.
How to make a series feature here. We got to start a documentary on this. How Kyle was able to trick us because he had that one brief moment off screen.
Again, it was still recording that entire time.
But nobody will see it, only you.
I mean,
History's written by the victor, Kyle.
yes.
Indeed. That's the point. We have to trust you that you're saying that you just changed some equipment.
Yeah.
You're lucky we do, but I'm just saying we're trusting
Nice.
you in good faith.
Yes.
You could Seymour us right now. We don't know. You could just drop the bomb. And be like, wait, I changed it. We're now playing Final Fantasy X-2. Oh no!
you would know. Trust me. You would
New
know.
hack.
That would be a good bit if I just like started playing Final Fantasy X-2 to start an episode and didn't tell you and saw how long it took you to notice. My guess,
I would notice
about
immediately.
5 seconds. Yup.
Yeah. Menu screen. Because these games aren't that quick. They're not just drop and play. You can only get away with doing that stuff in like arcade games. And they'd have to be ones that look similar, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm playing Galaga versus playing another game that's like, you know, a Galaga-like.
Yeah, Galaga instead of not Galaga. Yeah, real good example used there, Ryan.
And thanks. Boom. Nailed it. Like Yuna's gonna nail this friend sphere. What a dumb name for a sphere.
Well, it lets you go to an ally's location on the sphere grid.
I don't care. It sucks. It's a dumb name.
Reflect!
Corny.
We really
Disney.
needed that, by the way. That was a
Friend
really
sphere.
important ability.
I got your sphere. It's like your soul. Well, I have it. We're connected by eternal bonds for all time. Shut up. That's all bullshit.
What the fuck do I
Eventually, all
press?
these people will be in the ground.
Really
Well,
being a bit
Yuna
of a
sooner
bum.
rather than later. We all know that's coming. That's a big plot. Yuna's death. Yuna's impending doom. And actually, you know what? What am I talking about? Be in the ground? If Seymour has taught me anything, nobody goes in the ground. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
Ryan.
they get launched into space and then somehow float around forever. They're all Sith and they're all Force ghosts.
We're so close to getting tier 3 magic.
You get that from the sphere grid, correct? The sphere grid, correct?
Yes, that's where we get all of our upgrades. If we don't do the
I was-
sphere
wasn't
grid,
sure.
we literally
Well, I
never
thought-
change.
I thought maybe it would have been like some of the overbreaks or the limit breaks, whatever they're called.
Overdrives?
Is that right? Is it overdrives where they just learn it at random, kind of like it seemed like Waka did, or like with experience, with enough combat.
Yeah, those they do,
like.
but like every time you get into fights, literally the only things that you are, the only things that you're picking up are ability points for your sphere grid.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
I don't
obviously
upgrade,
know that.
I literally every time I level up, it doesn't do anything unless I put those sphere points in.
Well, you still get your new overdrives. You get that if you did nothing,
Well, that-
except for attack.
Yeah, you don't get that. Like those are kind of different though. You get those for stylistic choices. Like if you're
Great.
guarding for people a lot, you'll get like the guarding one.
Boom. 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 Oh, I wish he just kept going forever.
It would be pretty dope.
That should be one of his overdrives. Just you do that ability and
Hey,
just
maybe
hit them
later.
with attacks until you have until they're all dead. Just he doesn't stop, no matter
That would-
the enemy.
That
So you
would
just
be
use
pretty
it on a
dope.
boss. Go get a coffee. An hour later, they're dead. It's just him slowly picking the death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah. I can get down with that.
And they don't speed it up either. They make you watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the game's not long enough. You know,
That
nobody
logic
ever said
isn't
JRPGs were too
penetrable.
long, is all I'm saying.
Oh
So
yeah.
adding things like that to make them longer would be well received.
I think it would do pretty well.
Oh, come on, go down, you stupid seed thing, brat.
It's going down. No
Ice seed ice plant. I mean, that's the only, like, they gave it a nice vibe. It's a plant, but they gave it a nice vibe by skinning it with like the fake, you know, the Christmas time fake ice. They sprayed a bunch of that on the plant's roots, and they're like, "Look, guys, it fits into the environment." I don't buy that. No.
So there was one thing I did. One of the big
grows
equipment
here.
changes. If Yuna uses healing items right now, they will have double potency,
Okay.
which is an ability.
This is Kyle. That's the Game Genie thing you put in there,
Not a Game Genie thing.
dude. We totally know we're not playing this on PS4, by the way. We're playing this on PlayStation 1 with a Game Genie because you can't. There's no such thing as a Game Genie for a PS4. I don't think.
Yeah, you're right. And joke's on you. This game didn't come out until PS2, Ryan. If I put a PS1 disc in, it would look at me and be like, "The fuck."
Would it?
Yeah? You put a PS2 game into a PS1?
No, I thought you said if you put a PS1 game into a PS2. I was
No,
just
that would be
thinking,
fine.
Would it?
Yeah.
Was PS2? Did it have backwards?
It certainly did. That's how I played Legend of
I can't
Dragoon.
remember because I don't remember what PS1 discs were. Weren't they black on the underneath?
Some of them were.
Yeah, because like they weren't CD-ROMs yet. They were CDs on
The
PS2.
thing that you need
or
is
DVD, CD/DVDs. Sorry, I guess they
need
were
to put,
CDs, but they weren't DVDs yet.
you need to use a PS1 memory card.
Yeah, and then on PS3 they were Blu-rays, and now they're just not. Now they're basically just discs. Well, they're Blu-rays now, actually. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna fucking.
I forgot. I don't buy physical media anymore. I don't buy. So I was like, what are they? They're Blu-rays still, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what they are now? They're not even anything. You open it up and it's just a code to download it. Thanks for buying the case.
Yep. It still looks nice on your shelf.
Yeah. That's happening more and more. Even on non-PC games now. Some stores are just like, we're not ordering any more stock of this here. Here's a code. People are just like, that kind of defeats the purpose, you know?
Of walking to the store.
Like, I mean, you still, most of the time, you still have to download any game, new game, most of it, you still have to download, even if you buy it physical. You still have to download something, right? Because of patches and other stuff. Like, you're still not, it's never plug and play anymore, unless you're buying something that's specifically, like the Lego games and stuff that's really small, you know what I mean? But most full-featured games aren't. So you're still going to have to wait on your internet before you play. But it's still, depending on your internet, that's still the difference between waiting like an hour and waiting like 8 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, then if you have to download the whole thing, most games now is, I don't know, what was God of War, like 80 or 60?
Gigs? Something like that.
Yeah, it's big. Probably with like a 5 gig day one patch.
I don't remember it being that bad. I'm not sure. I have pretty good internet. These things suck.
Yeah, me too. I'm not worried about that. It's just, you know, if you're buying physical media, you figure the person who buys physical media is worried about that. Or worried about something that's preventing them from buying digitally. So giving them a code kind of just defeats the purpose of why you're... It's almost like the companies that are doing that are eventually going to go out of business.
Eventually, yeah. I still buy some, like,
Oh, you didn't hear about GameSpot?
No, they're going out of business.
They're obviously not doing great, but they're not going out of business completely. But their CEO, they just hired a new CEO, and then he left within 3 months.
Wait, GameSpot or GameStop?
GameStop, sorry, GameStop.
It's fine.
GameStop. Did I say Spot?
I don't know. I just wanted to make sure I knew which one you were talking about.
I meant to say the organization by which you can buy physical media, because that's the conversation we were having. They hired a new CEO after, letting one go or one step down, and then he just decided to quit 3 months in, which is not a good look early on.
It's It's not ideal.
For them.
Alright, Ryan, we've also got a new
I mean, their
overdrive
industries,
ability
they're
for,
feeling it more than hard.
for
Like,
Orin.
obviously, people buy consoles, they need physical media, they need that. Those are physical, but I don't know how many more physical consoles
On
we
N64.
have in this.
Physical consoles
Yeah.
will still be around for the most part, right? Cause
No, like new ones? I don't think so. Eventually, digital's just gonna get so good that it's just an
I
OS.
think we have at least one more generation left, though, right?
Well, of course, like PS5 and stuff. But I'm just saying, how
Yeah.
many more new consoles do we have left in us? Like, I think after the next one, we could see massive changes. Like, you're already seeing it. You're already seeing it with. Does Microsoft do a new console at all? I don't even know. Because look at what they're offering right now. They have day and date crossplay. If you buy an Xbox game, you can play it on Microsoft Store on their PC, right? And if you look at their Microsoft Store on PC, that's the same as Steam now. It's just an interface for which you download games. Eventually, there will come a time. It's not there yet. Eventually, the technology to which you're streaming, or the quality of which you need to play games, like the hardware, will just be built into your TV, and then you just have an OS. That's the service that you buy games.
Let's get him, guys!
I went the wrong way. Sorry, no, I just
Oh, sorry, you went the wrong way. But yeah, like I just don't see. Or eventually you'll just use your computer, or they're all, everyone will have such a good computer because that'll become so cheap that it'll just be like, plug this into your TV and then just download any games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sony even, but here you can play games on the Sony store. And like as everyone's internet gets better too, right? Like you think like 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, wouldn't you just be able to stream everything without downloading it? Because internet will be so easy to use, and because if the bandwidths and all this stuff just keep going up as everything does, right? Like, I don't know. Eventually things bottom out is what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
And then the technology becomes so useful, like commonplace, that the types of advantages are just everywhere. And the need to go around and buy this giant thing that you plug into your TV is like the best way to look at it is look at arcades, right? The need to go to a place and put in a quarter to play a life at this giant machine to experience a video game. That changed to become much easier for the consumer over time. That's how the trends that's how trends work. It'll continue to go down that path, right? So the big bulky boxes that get dusty and plug into your TV, to think that those won't eventually be outdated is crazy. Because they're the arcade machine right now, you know what I mean? Like they're the inconvenient thing that we're still paying too much money for. They're not as consumer friendly as eventually they will be.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Or whatever the futures will be, is all I'm saying. Like it could be a VR thing too, I don't know. Who knows, right? Based on the early sort of not really success of VR, it's hard to tell. But like it's hard to tell if VR might be one of those things like the MySpace and the Facebook thing, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's just that the early version of it is working out all the kinks, and then whenever someone figures out the holodeck version of it, it's going to be the you know what I mean? That's it.
The next big thing,
over. Yeah.
Yeah, it very much feels like it's like we're doing this for now, so that it can be awesome later thing.
That's generally games. Games is always wrapped in that. Like the arcade example is another perfect analogy of that, right? Like the arcade idea was like people are eventually going to be doing this all the time at their own convenience whenever they want to. And society was like, what? Are you joking? Like it's weird enough to just go, you know what I mean? Like going to a location doing it's like a social thing, right? It's like I'm going to go and play this game.
Yeah, but now the technology has changed, right? Before that was the social thing, and then we had a little bit of time where it was like home consoles, but that wasn't very social. And now you can fucking live stream to way more people.
Yeah. It's essentially just not acknowledging that as society evolves, the ways we engage with the things we already engage with also evolve. And how they evolve really just depends on, the nature in which society has evolved. Like, how the technological advancements or the cultural advancements, whatever have you, right? That just completely change. At times, it can change the way things interact with each other, and it can be different from all things. To assume it's just consistent across the board, right? Like people sometimes like to think of evolution and cultural change as like biblical events, right? Like the flood or the wave, where it just does the same thing to everything. It's like that's actually not what it is. It's the better way to look at it is it's like if the world is the game, the basketball game, these evolutions are changes to the fundamental rules of the game, which changes the very nature of how the game is played for every player, right? Everybody has to reevaluate where they stand. Because you never know, right? Where you stand, as with games, as we were talking, could completely change to the point where you could do something completely different that changes the game entirely, right?
Yeah.
That you couldn't have done previously.
That's why they call them game changers, Ryan.
Indeed. When Lulu hits level 3 magic, it's going to be a game changer.
That will be a game changer.
To get back into the game from our random talk there.
It's
I don't even remember how did we get into that conversation? It started with game talk, didn't it?
Yeah, you said game spot, GameStop.
Oh yes, sorry, yes. We were talking about the the digital games versus physical.
Yeah.
People buying discs. Actually, we initially were talking about disc formats.
Yeah, something about because the Game Genie.
Because we were asking, because we were talking about this game, but we were wondering if this game was then it was PS2, so it would have been a DVD.
Yeah, no, because the Game Genie joke, remember?
Yeah, there still would have been a Game Genie for PS2, I think. I feel like the only time those Game Genie stuff stopped was the moment the consoles became always online, which was PS3 and Xbox 360. Well, you didn't have to be online in PS3 and Xbox 360 days. You don't technically have to be online on PS4, but in PS3 and Xbox 360 days, you could only play physical media, and that's when that started, that trend. Now you can't play anything. I don't know if you know that.
Can't what side?
Or you might be able to play physical, but I actually don't think so.
Play what? What do you mean?
No, you can play physical on current consoles. Trying to think. On PS4, you can play like if you don't have an internet connection.
Oh yeah, you can totally.
Yeah. Physical only though, right? Yes. Because
No, I'm pretty sure you can still.
No, because if you don't have an internet connection, the games you've downloaded, if you try to log into them, the Sony looks for the internet connection to verify that that your account has access to the game, right? Because you digitally downloaded it, so they want to make sure you didn't pirate it. So to do that, they check with the store to verify your account. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be logged into the Sony network. Like, your our Power 22 or whatever your account is, right? Is what has access to the game, your digital library.
Okay.
And if you, I know because I've had the internet go down on me, and I'm just like, I'll totally play this game. If you're in the middle of a game, you're okay, right? I've had times where I was playing Rogue Legacy in the middle of it, lost internet, and it keeps me. But I've had times where I'm not playing any game, and I try to boot it, and it'll show you before you even go in, right? It just gives a locked icon next to all digital-only content. It's just like, we can't confirm that you have access to this because you're not logged into PSN because you have no internet, right?
Yeah, I had no idea. I learned something today, Ryan.
I don't like that. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But I understand it from a piracy perspective. It's just weird. I'm pretty sure Steam... No, because you can... No, some Steam games you can play offline. As long as they're installed on your computer, I'm pretty sure you can play
Yeah. 100%.
See, that's my hot take, is like, if I've already got it installed, how the hell would I install... Like, that's the thing. I'm okay if they want to go, you need... Like, because Steam would be the same way, right? In order to install it, you need to be connected to the internet. So that's when they should be doing their DRM check, right?
Yeah.
During installation. If I want to then go offline after I've installed the game, I should have access to it. Because it basically creates a situation where, like, how do you travel with the console, right? What if you travel to a hotel or a place where you don't have internet, I guess you should say. Like, I'm going to go out to the camping where you pretty much have to have physical discs. Because you can't play any of your library if you don't.
Yeah. Sounds like a bad time.
They do the same thing with this game too, right? Like, this game actually technically shows up on my dashboard. Like, you probably know this from when you play games with Chris. Like, they show up on your dashboard, but they have the little locked icon.
Yeah, no, I knew about that.
That's a little icon that I get.
Yeah, okay. That part makes sense, because it's like, hey, you haven't paid for this, dick.
Well, yeah, you don't own this game. Like, but it's probably fundamentally the same system, right? They're doing a check to confirm if you own the game. And if you're not logged in, there's no check. It's like, well, you don't own any games. You're not logged in. You don't have a PSN library. Except I do. That's all right on my... Anyway, it's weird. That's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Wait.
I miss black back disc. We were talking about that before. I like that on PS1. Those are cool.
It did look cool.
I remember Diablo 1's was on PS1. Speaking of that, I had friends who... I don't know if you knew this, but you could... PS1 was like ripe with piracy back in the day because it was like one of the first disc-based consoles, right? Like it was to the point where you could pretty much burn an ISO from the internet onto a disc and have a modded chip PS1 that wasn't that hard to mod. Like you could literally send it in to people like on magazines or in a lot of towns, like even smaller towns had someone who knew how to mod it, right? And then you could just play any game on the PS1 library that just play it, just download it and torrent it. It wasn't torrenting back then, but there was a way to download. I think it might have been on Napster or something.
Yeah. You're kind of dating yourself a little bit there,
I had a friend who had a modded chip, so that's I got to see a lot of crazy PS1 games that I'd never otherwise. Like a lot of imports, because at that point it's just like, well, everything's up there, right? So you can play stuff.
Not the world map. God damn it.
You wouldn't otherwise.
I don't know what direction I'm supposed to. Oh wait, yes I do.
Man,
I was going the right way
lost
the whole
here in
time.
the mountains.
This happens to be every fucking time.
Kyle's just getting lost, and this is going to end up taking an extra 6 hours.
This literally
Normally we wouldn't be into such philosophical quote in jokes, philosophical talks.
I'm running from this
during this feature, but when we're grinding, that's just what has to happen.
Yeah, well.
And we're not intentionally grinding. I'm just getting lost. And you know, these games are ripe with. I kind of am happy that more and more games have gotten rid of this concept.
Riku, think later.
Okay.
The fuck was that, Steve?
I don't know.
Okay, I know that you have your problems with Riku. How can you possibly put her below Steve?
Was that like a sexist comment as well? Think later?
No, because they're gonna think about ways to save Yuna. Remember, like that was. He's referencing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that came out of nowhere. Like, there's been no conversation for like 10 minutes.
It's almost like Steve doesn't know how to interact with
That's what I was saying.
people.
Like, I thought he was talking about the battle. He's like, think later. I thought he was trying to like Kratos her. Listen, you got to have your mind focused on the task at hand, boy. Girl.
I mean, that was the idea, right? Like, we're fighting right now, so stop doing that. But like, no, fuck you. Man, it's a good thing we had 9,000 fucking extra potions, because holy shit, do I not know where I am. Oh, good, that's the shop.
Perfect. Sorry, that's
Wait, I fucked up.
Yeah. Even later JRPGs, some of them have gotten rid of this, but the idea of these random battles that you can't avoid, you can flee, but just like at that point, if you're the type of person who's just trying to keep going, the game is still punishing you by eating your time. You're just like, ugh. Like I just feel like more modern JRPGs have gotten into the idea, like, oh wait, time as a punishing concept to the user isn't actually. People don't like that. They would rather it just go faster.
Thank God.
Almost like people play game. It's almost like the games industry recognized people play games and they're adults with lives too, as well. Not just people who are playing over summer vacation who will commit 100 hours to every game they play.
Greetings, Lady Yuna. My name is Wants.
What do you want?
We have
nice meme.
Before, right?
Not running today? I have to carry on my brother's business.
Fair
You've
enough.
met him, I think. Owaka the 23rd, merchant extraordinaire. Wait,
He's not.
you're that guy's
Screw
brother?
Owaka. Yeah, you're way cooler.
My brother wanted to come help Lady Yuna, but the temple imprisoned him for helping traitors.
They imprisoned him because of us?
He
That's
doesn't
what he just
regret
said.
it, though.
Thanks
In
for
fact,
repeating, Steve.
He told me before they took him. Don't worry about me. Just
Steve is just
go
constantly
help
taking
Lady
notes
Yuna.
in class.
But
That's his
why
response
would
to
your
everything.
brother do this for us?
Oh yes, okay.
Well,
So the,
aye,
this
this isn't
happened
the
in
time
World War
for
II. Oh
talking.
yes, I got it.
There's dealing to be done.
Let's
Welcome
do it.
to
What do you
Owaka.
want?
That was a terrible. That was.
Wants has got all you wants here. It's got the
All
double
right.
age of the conductor, double age, double edge, double penalty, double minor. 4 minutes in the box for
Just
high
the
stake
idea.
with
All
blood.
of Waka's weapons have sports puns in them. Switch hitter. That's a baseball joke.
Oh yeah. Booster Kakatar.
That's really good, but that's gonna take all of my money. So I'm
The
not gonna
shimmering blade. Survivor.
Oh, that is
Come on in,
really
guys. There we go. There's a brand we need to
Oh.
name one of our summons. Jeff
Shit.
Probst.
There we go. Is that...
Our
Yep.
summon that just yells at them. That's his ability.
Alchemy on Riku is super important.
We are getting Survivor. Wow.
Yeah. So, Ryan, that thing...
Riku's a survivor.
Remember
She
how-
seems like a survivor.
Yeah, dude, her healing just went up fucking huge. Al Bhed potions now heal for 2,000 when Riku uses them. And she's the
Nice.
only one who can use them. So...
Shell dangle.
The fuck was that joke?
Huh?
I don't understand what that joke was.
I will be sure.
There's
to
an item named the shell bangle.
He's
I
doing
didn't make
this.
a
Oh,
joke.
okay.
I
Thank
was
you.
just saying the name. Anyway,
I'm also going to buy items here, but you have to go to a separate menu.
the joke was that there was no joke, Kyle. You're the joke. Not you, the
Damn.
person, but you, the sentence you made. You know, people need to identify
No,
with
I'm
the
out of
sentences
Gil.
that they say.
Fuck.
That's how it works.
I have to sell
And that's how
shit.
you say that too. People say sentences. That's how it works.
That they do.
I don't think they do. I don't think that's real. Soul Spring.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that'll never tire me. Look at that. Look, this
Welcome
icon
to
for
a-
frag grenade is a broadsword.
I know how
I
much
get
you
it.
love
It's a
that.
weapon, but
Yeah.
I know that's just dumb. It's
I have
funny.
to sell some shit.
Oh, no more katana. No more bracer. I like that. The cell sign.
The sound? Yeah.
Sound effect. Yep. Good sounds. Targ.
Brotherhood can't be sold. Interesting.
Well, I mean, there's no point. It's worthless. So it's only got sentimental value.
Well, that's why. Yeah, right. Like but it's a really good weapon.
Twilight Steel. So you're selling now because you literally don't have enough to get what you need? Okay.
Yeah. And like this is something I could have done at any point and just didn't.
Yeah, we haven't sold yet in a while. Like all game, I think.
We've never used so. This I'm just keeping it just in case.
Oh, I saw the word Sith there.
Kate Sith. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just objectively worse. That is not worth the trade-off.
Makes you angry. When you wear that item, it makes you anger, hate, etc.
Yep.
All the other proverbs that I'm forgetting in the moment.
Fear turns to anger. Anger turns
Fear.
to hate.
There we go. Fear. There we
Hate
go.
turns
That's the
to
fear. Suffering.
suffering. Thank you. I've watched the Star
I
Wars.
mean, I don't know. Listen, looking at the events of this game, we've seen fear, hate, suffering. All those things have happened.
You're not wrong.
Sin, Sith. I don't know. Maybe. So that's the end.
Shit.
We get to Sin, and it's just Palpatine. I've got unlimited power. Oh shit, guys, run! The Palpatine Pokemon is here.
Would you?
That's what Sin actually
Would you
is.
write off this entire game if that was actually what happened? Not if,
No, I would probably clap. If Sin was just Palpatine, and then Sin was just like Palpatine's pet monster or something, Palpatine just rides in on him. That'd be Kojima enough for me, I think. Just a hooded figure that shoots lightning out of his hands riding on a giant space octopus. That's pretty stupid. That would be pretty dumb, Kyle. Especially since Palpatine otherwise is just like this politician. He's like such a man-bee. I mean, he's got lightsabers and fights and is actually cool, but for much of what you see of him,
Yeah.
he's just like talking treaties and like, yes, I'm gonna make the Senate bow to my wishes. You're like, oh, he's like Neil McDonough in Street Fighter Legends. Oh, you're so powerful, you Harvey Specter, you like, it's just like, you're just like you're just a bureaucratic asshole. You're not really that much of an like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like you're not really. It's like they act present them sometimes as if they're like the villain in Scream, like it's like no, those people are literally murdering serial killers. That's why those people are scary. They show up in your house and try to kill you. You're just like, yeah, well, I'm gonna take your planet from you. Oh, okay, well, I should probably fight this and have rallies and stuff. Like that's the type of stuff that makes you casually lose sleep at night, not like fear for your life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, eventually he does murder people, obviously. He's a Sith, but
Of
still,
course.
I don't... he kills all the Jedi, I guess, by extension, with Order 66.
He did do that.
But did he? I mean,
Yeah.
did he do that? Like, I feel like he politician did that. He got in motion all the different. He negotiated with the people who created the clones to put that order in. Then he negotiated with the Jedi to get them on his side and working with the clones. Like, he just negotiated into the point where that moment could. Like, I don't know. That's an evil politician. That's a Kojima boss. So you know what? You're right. He should be riding Sin. Nanomachines, son.
That's, yeah.
Midichlorians, son. That would be the line.
Yep. Disturbance in the Force.
Oh, fuck.
Shocking Fist.
Make the Sith
that
again.
is not something that does anyone any good, as Lynch would say. You gotta at least get some permission before you go for a fist, you know?
Yeah.
Just ask.
The mountain
Let's keep
itself
fighting
is
these
the trial.
defenders with the leader.
Hey, I'll keep fucking taking their shit.
Hey, this leader shoots lightning. He's a Palpatine-like. There you go.
Also, I'm gonna hang on to
And
everybody's...
much like Palpatine's 2 guards, they're mambies.
We've got an overdrive,
It's my new thing now.
or we've got a
Jobbers are just gonna be mambies.
fight coming up semi-soonish that, I'm gonna need overdrives for. Except with Steve, I feel like I'm really close to getting his next one, and you get new ones for him by using your current ones. So...
Burr, 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 burr.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
Gonna hang on to
I'm not
these.
just trying to track.
No, I got you.
Overdrives, you need to keep them.
Jesus. Also, I think that Phoenix Down actually full restores with Alchemy. Yeah, it does. Yeah, Riku's like basically my best character now.
Man, imagine if you didn't have... If Phoenix Down wasn't an item. If every time a character was knocked out,
They were just
you
dead.
treated them like it really does. Like, yeah, they're dead. Like, they're dead until you bring them to a medic, right? Like, it's like, what if the game was like, we're going to give you more party members, but when you lose party members and don't bring them back to, like, a hospital or something within a set amount of time? Like, think of, like, Pokemon,
They
right?
just
They're
get super
KO'd,
fucked,
but if you
yeah.
don't bring them to the Poke Center, they're just dead. You lose them.
Yeah, that would be...
I feel like at that point, we're just saying, hey, what about XCOM?
Yeah. Basically.
Kind of, right?
Yeah, sometimes you get sent into the air.
I just think that'd be a cooler version. I think that'd be a neat system in a JRPG.
I
though.
agree.
Like the way a JRPG turn-based things, because I think it'd be cool because then they could give you. There was a game I was actually looking at not too long ago that had something like that in it. Oh, sorry, yeah. I was thinking of the new game that's Microsoft just released, State of Decay 2. It's procedurally generated though, but it's not, and it's not a JRPG. But
Well,
it's
of course. Those two things don't go together.
you have procedurally generated, narratively based companions, and they can die, and you can get more. Right? Like, so you like pick up survivors and stuff, and like you can make enemies in the world too. So like, let's say you have a survivor and he's radioing you. It's like, oh, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? The more you ignore him, eventually he's just like, he's an enemy now because you never responded to him, so he thinks you're against them.
Okay.
It's like, oh, that's kind of
That
neat.
is
But they're all
kinda
procedurally generated, but they got like characteristics and stuff, and it was neat. I feel like something like that's starting to hit on a line. Like, as soon as someone perfects the art of that. Combine that with the Nemesis system and then throw that into a JRPG,
Oh,
and I think you might have me
shit.
sold.
Yeah, the Nemesis system on top of that. That's not bad.
Yeah. Because at that point, then you have interesting companions that you can cycle through that feel like they're stakes, and then also a system designed with enemies that also feel like they're stakes within the enemies, right? So then they'd interact with each other, and it'd be like, hey.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Honestly, I haven't never played it, but I feel like, based on my limited knowledge of it, Fire Emblem might be something like that. It seems like Fire Emblem might be the game. It's a JRPG that has lots of characters that can die. I've heard people talk about permadeath in that game. So
yeah, you have an option at the
Fire
start.
Emblem.
You can have them either be dead for like the encounter or for the rest of the game. Classic is what they called it. Like that's how the game is meant to be played.
All right then. So I'll pick up. You know what? The new Nintendo. There you go. There's your game that'll get me to buy a Switch.
I mean, I'm actually waiting for them
it.
to put one out for Switch. The 3 that they put out for they put out for
3DS.
Yeah, are fantastic.
Do you play with the permadeath on?
Yes.
Okay, and those are narrative-based characters, right? Like all your side characters in those games have stories and stuff, right? And
Yep.
things you can talk to them about, yeah.
Yeah,
But they're
like
not
you can lose any
procedurally
of them.
generated. Those are just like
No,
set
they're
characters, but
very
they give you
specific.
a large number of them, right? Like they make
Yep.
it accessible to the idea that you'll lose some.
Yes. They do have story-specific characters that you can't lose.
I guess
But,
those would be games we could cover on this feature. They're anime.
if we had any way to capture them, absolutely.
No, I mean when the Switch one comes out.
Yeah, again, I haven't done any... So that's the thing, right? Like, I could capture a Switch game with my capture card, but how would you guys see it?
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Share play.
They don't have Switch share play, Ryan. They don't even have friend codes, Ryan. Remember? Reggie says, fuck you.
Play the game. Have you ever seen the old one with with Palmer or whatever, Steve Ballmer or what was Palmer? His name was developer. Have you ever seen that one?
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, you've heard play the game, obviously. That's Reggie.
I didn't know. I was
You
doing
ever-
the bit from the Beastcast.
Yeah, but you were talking about Reggie, Phil
Yeah,
and me.
That was the bit from the Beastcast.
Yeah, but you so you don't know the play the game? That's one of
No.
the press conferences where Reggie said that over and over again.
Yeah, no, I have no
Like
idea.
every time, it was like a mantra. He'd open with like "play the game," and he like would like drill it into your soul. Nintendo's done that a bunch of times, but the one I'm talking about otherwise, like I was talking about that initially, and then I was talking about one that was not Nintendo, but it was like it's like in the '90s, and it was like this guy Steve, I think it was Bomber. There's a video of it. He's like it's like the most overly overdone press conference of all time, and it's not for games, it's for like Microsoft, and he's like, he just gets into talking about how focused they are going to be on developers, so he just starts like going developers, like over and over and over, and it's
That
like in
sounds
this
really
huge
stupid.
auditorium, and it's the '90s, right? So the auditorium isn't really stylized; it looks more like a gymnasium. You know, it's just like bleacher type
Yeah.
seats everywhere, and like he's like he's sweating, like his chest and his armpits and like under his neck on his business shirt is just
All
like
sounds
drenched,
gross.
and he's just like yelling and super. He's like, I love this company. Like it was like. People thought that press conferences back then needed to be like religious ceremonies or whatever. You know what I mean? Like those preachers. Like they're like, it needs to be hype, and it was before we were self-aware that looks really dumb. Like, oh, okay, you don't need to be this serious about this type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, guys, we're just talking about a product here. Like, calm down. But that's
love
kind
this
of Nintendo.
company.
They sometimes go a little too far, and it's just like, whoa, chill out. Chill out there, Reggie.
Yeah.
There's a
Reggie.
bunch of them. You could look up, other than play the game for Reggie. I mean, there's also a bunch of obviously old.
Yeah, you know what bit I was talking about though, right? Like the fuck 'em.
No.
Oh my. Okay, you really need to watch that. It's like a 10-minute clip of a Beastcast where they're just talking about how like the SNES classics and how it's like Nintendo has no problem making these things, but they don't give a fuck what happens afterwards, or they don't care about their messaging. They don't care about anything. And then Vinny had this bit going where he was talking about how every time that they do something good, they do something equally bad because they're mad about people not liking their bad shit. That was where that whole like we heard that perverts like only perverts like arms bit came from.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
Pat Bear did, yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, we heard that only perverts like
Yeah,
arms.
that-
That means
that-
that
that's-
you're not getting Metroid Prime 4 anymore. Like, you know, like they had a bit with that. But the overarching bit was that Reggie said "fuck him" whenever like someone else in Nintendo was like, "Why would we?"
Yeah.
Hey Reggie, we actually found a really good way to do the
not,
friend
not
system.
real Reggie, but yeah, the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, obviously not real Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nintendo's kind of. Nintendo's a weird case. I always don't like that. They're odd. They're kind of like if Lego, like because they're like Lego sometimes because they treat their products like their consoles, especially like toys, kind of more so than they treat them like consoles, like electronic things. They're like, but then their software's like if. The analogy would be for me, it's like if Lego manufactured a product that Disney developed software for. Like that's Nintendo to me. Like that's quality-wise, that's what it feels like because their first-party software is a Disney. It has a Disney-esque quality. It's not always super like that doesn't necessarily mean childish. Just like catering to a wider demographic, right? It's not like Doom caters to specifically people who like violence. If you don't like violence, you're probably not going to like Doom. I'm just going to throw it out there, right? It's pretty gory,
Controversial opinion,
right?
yeah.
Yes. Nintendo caters to a more wide, like Disney, a more wider audience base, and like Disney, they do their own thing very good. But from a manufacturing perspective, their products aren't like Disney. Their products are more like Lego. They're just like you said, they release something, and then it's like, if there's criticism of it, it's like they don't really give a shit. They're just like, whatever, we're gonna do our own thing with our hardware every time out. Like, I've seen tons of criticism directed at Lego, for example, for this number of pieces for product, or what is the type of pieces, hey, you should probably take some of this criticism, and they just keep releasing new sets. Like, they don't actually give a shit about the criticism because they just make so much money on them that they don't care, right? And I kind of feel like sometimes Nintendo has that vibe with their hardware. It's just like, hey, this gimmick, this type of side gimmick is just a gimmick. You shouldn't put this in their game. And as you,
also,
you were saying about ARMS, they're just like, we don't care.
Magic.
Anyway, yeah, that's my bit. Nintendo.
Sorry, I got real excited. Also, here's a fun thing.
We got the Tier 3 Magic.
Here's another fun thing. I have these things I've been sitting on for a long ass time. Guess who can also learn Tier 3 Magic? Yuna.
Those are like share spheres or whatever, or
yeah, black magic spheres. She can learn a black magic spell that someone else has had. You don't get very many of them in the game.
All the spells that Yuna has.
That Lulu has. You don't get that many, so I was specifically waiting until we hit Tier 3 Magic.
To save them to put them on Yuna?
Yeah, because I like Tier 3 Magic.
Load her up.
Yep, so we did that. So that's a big power spike for us. Also, we're right in front of a boss fight with a lengthy cutscene in front of it, so we'll probably save that for our next one. I think.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end.
Oh, bright side, at least the next recap's going to be about 5 seconds long, right, Ryan?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely, because nothing happened.
I wandered through the fucking snow for 3 episodes.
The only thing that really happened is that we made a definitive decision to continue with the journey, and Kimari's Mass Effect...
Kimari had some big dick fight.
Kimari's, I'm going to put in quotes, Mass Effect level backstory moment happened. Because I have based on how far we're into the game, I have a strong suspicion that that's all we're getting for Kimari's backstory moment, which... I get it. It was 2001, but let's just say standards changed in terms of how much, you got whole missions that were 6 hours long or something that were explanations of characters in later RPGs.
Yeah, and we've gotten more out of everybody else. If we can kind of do this since we're wrapping up. Like, obviously, Steve has got tons of backstory. That's the whole game. Yuna, as another main character, has gotten a lot. We got a decent amount out of Waka early on with that whole Blitzball tournament and everything, and the thing with his brother.
I wouldn't consider Steve and Yuna side characters. They're the main.
No, but I'm going through. I think everybody except for Kimari up until this point has had a decent character development. I'm just going to go through one by one. Steve, Oren.
Sort of. I mean, like. There's been a character development there, but we haven't really. The missions are a little short. They're not given that much time.
No, but
way more time is given. Pacing-wise, there's lessons to learn from this game, in my opinion.
Oh, sure. I don't disagree at all.
Focus less on Steve and Yuna. Lesson 1.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of Walker early on with that whole my brother died and I have this problem with this religious group, or with people who don't go for this religious group, and Blitzball, and then Lulu's very much got the mentor situation going on where she's she knows a lot of shit about Waka and Yuna's past, and also she serves as the catching Steve up to the rest of the group narrator, so we get a lot of scenes with her there.
The point I'm making is I'm getting a WrestleMania vibe from this game.
I'm saying that I think that Kimari
Triple H gets a 20-minute entrance, and then Kimari gets one fight scene dedicated to his entire backstory. That's weak. And the mountain should have had a village of characters that he knows and people that we could talk to and interact with. There should have been a series of events that happened. It shouldn't have just been, hey, they blocked us from getting on the mountain, but they didn't really because it was one cutscene that had no decisions being made, and then we had one battle, and that's it. And then thanks Kimari, thanks for tagging along. No, that's weak sauce in my opinion.
Yeah, he's the worst one for sure. Because even Riku,
but I'm just saying that most of the side characters have been treated to that level. Other than Yuna, most characters have been treated at that level. Oron shows up in flashbacks, so that's his only extended.
Well, Oren's also very much got the whole.
He's just been telling us stories about his past. Yes, and there's still time for some more of this stuff to happen.
Yeah. Riku's got a
Lulu's
decent
just been
amount.
a couple of conversations. Riku got a decent amount only because we got to spend an entire level in her home area.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is one of the big reasons I'm bummed about the Kamari stuff, is because I feel like we should have spent more time in his area.
Yeah.
We're still
Well,
technically
we
there,
spent a lot of
but
time in his area, but yeah.
None of it has to do with him, where everything where we were in the Albed home at some point connected to Riku, because even if we were dealing with Sid, those are her family, right? We were learning, again, there was something there.
And
right?
Riku would be the one you could justify having the least amount because she only showed up halfway through the game.
Lulu, not so much either, but she's just been... Lulu and Oran have kind of had the same... We're just going to talk about stuff that they did every now and then,
too old
and
for
that's
this
about
shit.
all you get.
Yeah. Oran's kind of got like that whole like running trope
There's
of like, I have my secrets and I have my secrets for a reason.
My number one criticism of the game is probably way too much Yuna focus. Yuna is uninteresting, and she's basically the focal point thus far of the plot of the game, which is kind of a bummer. That's the only... otherwise, I've liked a lot of the settings, I've liked a lot of the scenes.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's things I haven't liked. The
course.
underwater thing, which I later watched on YouTube. I don't even know what I was looking at, but yeah.
So bad.
But yeah, no, it definitely, it's a vintage Square game. Vintage Square games, there's one thing, like they'll never be accused for not going for it. They always go for it, but I feel like even to this day, one of the common criticisms of Square's JRPGs has always been pacing. They're not. It's never also just like the overall length. It's just like what time they choose to spend on what characters, what scenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're sometimes hit or miss with that stuff. They, and again, they're attracting such a wide audience, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people in Japan, like, you know what I mean? You're talking at one point about Final Fantasy X2 and how it's a little more poppy, and a lot of people, at least in your experience, didn't like it as much because of the characters. And I'm like, I bet you there's a bunch of people in Japan who probably loved all those characters, right?
Probably,
like those are their favorite Final Fantasy. Like, that's the thing, right? They're not. That just means that Square might not also be catering to us with some of the. Like, some people might be going, Yuna's one of my favorite. Yuna and Steve, Hart, that's my ship, right?
I don't think anyone's ever said that because they don't call him Steve, but yeah. That's our thing.
Yeah, but Yuna and Tidus. I bet you those Japanese people would be really into the hardcore. You have to call them by their actual name lore.
Some of them, maybe. Like it's a
that would
wide
sound
enough
like
variety
anyway.
of people that there's probably. Some
I don't want to be sexist, but I'm assuming, I'm just saying, teenage Japanese girls, would that be the people that Yuna's fan base?
Maybe.
Because I'm not trying to stereotype, but that is Yuna, right? She is Yuna and Riku kind of both fall into the category of like existential girls going through crisis and growing up and learning lessons. Like, I feel like that's relatable to people of the same age, wouldn't that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, a big reason why it's not working for us is because of older men. Even Steve doesn't work for us because he's yet too young, right?
I mean, I still
like,
unironically...
Who's the most relatable characters? Oran and Lulu.
To an extent. Riku is still my favorite character.
Yeah, but I said relatable, not favorite.
I guess.
Then again, the game opens with him traveling through time, so I don't know how relatable it will be.
Exactly, Ryan. Alright.
Unless you're Marty McFly.
We will,
Sorry, I didn't mean to make that conversation heavy.
That's okay, man. It was good.
But
I kept it going for a reason.
We're out of here, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us,
you
everybody.
Didn't pick up on that. That's great. He did. That's nice.
Okay.
That's great, Scott, if you know what I mean. Anyway. I don't know if Kyle picked up on it yet anyway.
Nope, didn't pick it up at all. Next time, we'll go do the thing that is about to come up that I'm not going to be specific about because I don't want to ruin it for Ryan. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you guys next time.
What the hell's a gigawatt?
I figured it was a Back to the Future reference, Ryan. I just didn't know the specific one.
What?